What is up, YouTube? So you want to play a Paladin in Season of Discovery Phase 2 at the level 40 cap. This is the video for you. I'm going to go over all the runes and talk about some possible builds that could work in both PvP and PvE. Let's get right into it. I'll leave a link down below of all the runes for all the classes if you want to see them, but today's video is all about Paladin. Feel free to pause the video if you want to read these runes as they hit the screen. We have belt rune slots. For Paladin, we get Enlightened Judgment, Infusion of Light, and Sheath of Light. In the boot rune slot, we have Guarded by the Light, Sacred Shield, and Art of War. In the bracer rune slot, we have Improved Hammer of Wrath and Purifying Power. And lastly, for the helm rune slot, we have Fanaticism, Improved Sanctuary, Light's Grace, and Wrath. As for where I think Paladin will be next phase, I think Holy will improve a lot. Almost every one of these runes seems to benefit Holy the most out of any spec, but in a weird way. Shockedon seems to be getting a lot of support. It doesn't look like healing itself is really being that buffed, but I do think Holy Paladin as a healer will get a little better in Phase 2. Protection got Improved Sanctuary, which might have some uses, but I still think full prospect just isn't that good yet. And Retribution doesn't seem to be getting a whole lot, to be honest, but there's a few runes that you can utilize to do some cool stuff, which I'll talk about. I'm going to go over PvP Ret Paladin talents first. I just like playing PvP and I like playing the Ret spec the most. Ret Reckoning, all that kind of thing, that's what I like. So we're going to talk about some Ret Paladin PvP talents first. So you do 5 of 5 Benediction, 5 Deflection, 2 Improved Judgment, 5 Conviction, 1 Seal of Command, 1 Vindication, 2 Eye for an Eye, it's so good, 3 Two-Handed Spec, 1 Sanctity Aura, 5 Vengeance, and 1 Repentance. So you just go deep ret. You could even stay in this build for PvE. There's only like one difference, which I'll talk about. The other reason why we don't get Pursuit of Justice and get Deflection is because we'll have minor move speed now. But you could, because this also counts for your mount speed, you could take the 2 out of Deflection and just have 3 Deflection to have 2 Pursuit of Justice. I believe you can also do 1 point less in Vindication, go 4 Deflection, which is good, and then use the 2 points per Pursuit of Justice. That's also a really good way to do it. But this is a pretty solid Ret talent build right here. Now, as for runes, we're going to use Divine Storm, Avenger's Shield, and Crusader Strike for the original runes still. They're really good. I don't think you should change them. We didn't really get anything to really make a difference when it comes to Ret. As for the new ones, what we're going to use is Fanaticism, increases your critical strike chance with holy spells by 18%. So that's all your holy spells, I believe. Your healing, your judgment, anything that's like holy spell, it'll get increased by 18%. And that goes hand in hand with Sheath of Light, because dealing damage with your melee weapon increases your spell power by an amount equal to 30% of your attack power for 1 minute. In addition, your critical healing spells heal the target for 60% of the healed amount over 12 seconds. So it's extra healing. It's really good for Ret because you oftentimes will throw a few heals on people, and Fanaticism pretty much buffs Sheath of Light. So it's just a win-win. It's just the way to go, in my opinion. It's solid. Being able to crit heal, and then you get an extra 60% of healing out of it, is big. We go with Purifying Power, mainly because I think Improved Hammer of Wrath just sucks. So all this does is, the cooldown of your Hammer of Wrath is reset each time it damages an enemy below 10% health. So I'm guessing if you kill someone with Hammer of Wrath, it resets the cooldown, but like, how often are you even using Hammer of Wrath, you know? You're not sitting there spamming it. It's like, what I would have liked them to do with Improved Hammer of Wrath is just take the cast time off. But yeah, they should have just taken the cast time off and made it like Wrath Hammer of Wrath. Get it? Wrath Hammer of Wrath. Anyways. Yeah, Purifying Power is just better. Reduces the cooldown on Exorcism and Holy Wrath by 50%, and Holy Wrath can now be cast at any target and will stun undead and demon targets for 2 seconds. So I mean, you could stun demon pets with that, technically. Even I don't know if you're gonna hard cast Holy Wrath all the time in PvP, but the reason why we do this too is because you are like, the thing to do is run 2 different legs so you can switch out into Exorcist, which will give you Exorcism, and it will reduce that cast time. So you'll be switching between Avenger's Shield and Exorcist every once in a while in PvP. And the last one, Sacred Shield, is just really good. This is the exact Sacred Shield from Wrath. I'll read it out. Each time the target takes damage, they gain a Sacred Shield, absorbing 500 damage and increasing the Paladin's chance to critically hit with Flash of Light by 50% for up to 6 seconds. In addition, cause your Flash of Light to heal targets with Sacred Shield for an additional 100% over 12 seconds. They cannot gain this effect more than once every 6 seconds, lasts 30 seconds. This spell cannot be more than one target at any one time. So you can only have your Sacred Shield on one person at a time, but whoever it's on, it's like, normally as a Ret Paladin, you're going to put it on yourself, and your Sheath of Light is just going to keep you alive. You're going to hit yourself with heals every once in a while, and you're just going to be able to go in with like basically heal over times. It's going to be crazy. But that's pretty much it for Ret. I don't think we really got that big of a buff. It's not going to be that crazy. I think Ret Paladin is going to be a decent like B tier in PvP. That's just my opinion. I don't think we're going to be like the top dogs or anything. All right, so for PvE Ret, we go 5 of 5 Benediction, or you could go 5 of 5 Improved Blessing of Might. But you really only need 1 Paladin with this if you bring more than 1 Paladin. 3 Deflection, 3 Improved Seal of Crusader, 2 Improved Judgment, 5 Conviction, 2 Vindication. You could probably bump that up to 3 and not run 2 Deflection, but I just don't know how good this talent is in PvE. Like, reducing agility makes it to where mobs won't dodge you, I think. 1 Seal of Command. You skip this because it's mostly for PvP. You don't really need Pursuit of Justice, although you could put 2 in there if you really wanted to. 3 Two-Handed Spec, 1 Sanctity Aura, 5 Vengeance, and 1 Repentance. So it's roughly the same with some slight differences. You're going to improve Seal of Crusader, so you judge Crusade, and it buffs your damage a little bit, holy damage a little bit. For the runes, I don't think that we really changed those. Yeah, you don't really need to. You could actually, instead of Sheath of Light, increases the range of your judgment by 30 yards and your spell hit with all spells by 17%. Yeah, I think you take that. So that's like really the only difference besides all this other stuff. So you got Fanaticism still, Enlightened Judgments, Divine Storm, Exorcist, Purifying Power, Art of War, and Crusader Strike for PvE. I think that's the best way to do it. There might be a better way, but that looks like the best way. I'm not like a PvE god or anything, but that seems like what you would run. So you got the Exorcist, Purifying Power, Art of War synergy. You got Fanaticism to give you more crit on your holy spells. And then you got the hit for Judgment with Enlightened Judgments, because resists and misses just suck. So yeah, that's PvE Ret. Alright, so for Holy, this is pretty much just a standard Holy build. It's not going to change between PvP or PvE. You're just going to run the same thing for every Holy build, in my opinion. This is just the way to run it. So you go 5 of 5 Divine Intellect, 5 of 5 Spiritual Focus. You take Consecration. I don't think it's very good, but you just take it anyways. 3 Healing Light, 2 Unyielding Faith. This is really good. Increases your chance to resist fear, disorient effects by an additional 10%. 5 Illumination, 2 Improved Blessing of Wisdom, 1 Divine Favor, 1 Lasting Judgment, 5 Holy Power, and then 1 Holy Shock. So what's really going to make Paladin shine next phase is this. After getting a critical effect from your Flash of Light, Holy Light, or Holy Shock heal spell, gives you a 100% chance to gain mana equal to the base cost of the spell. And then Divine Favor, when activated, gives your next Flash of Light, Holy Light, or Holy Shock spell 100% chance to crit. So you basically pop this and this procs. So it makes it to where you don't really go as much, and this is really what helps Holy Paladin be Holy Paladin. As for runes, I'm not the best at Holy Paladin, but I think I can kind of figure it out. So Wrath is really good. That's your consecration damage can now be critical strikes, and damage from your exorcism, holy shock, holy wrath, consecration spells gains additional crit strike chance equal to your melee critical strike chance, which is okay, but you don't really run high melee crit as a Holy Paladin, I feel like, for the most part. And like, it's kind of hard to get crit on a Paladin in general. They don't really get like crazy amounts of crit. So you could also just go with Fanaticism, and that kind of will help your Illumination Divine Favor combo. You could use Infusion of Light. Increases the damage done by your Holy Shock by 20%, and your damaging critical strikes with Holy Shock reset the cooldown on Holy Shock and Exorcism and refund the cost of Holy Shock. So it's really good, really good in my opinion. So you get 20% extra damage with your Holy Shock, and it resets the cooldowns of Exorcism. Yeah, Paladin is going to be playing very aggressively. Like, you're going to see some aggressive Shockadins that have some crazy ass healing too. Like, Shockadin is going to be insane next phase. I think it will be slightly better than Rep Paladin even, but it's just, I don't know. We'll have to see. It's going to be crazy either way. Exorcist, no brainer with all this offensive style of play that Paladin's getting. Purifying Power reduces the cooldown on Exorcism and Holy Wrath by 50%, and Holy Wrath can now be cast at any target and will stun undead demons. Okay, so that one's good. I think you just go with that. I don't think you even fuck with Improved Hammer of Wrath. I think it sucks personally. I don't think it's very good. Hands, Beacon of Light. If you want to, you could also use Crusader Strike if you want to be that offensive Holy Paladin. You could do that. Either one works. But for the sake of Holy Paladin, we're just going to go with Beacon of Light. But just know you can change it to Crusader Strike if you want, or you could bring 2 gloves in and switch between them when you feel like you need to play more aggressive, things like that. That's what's cool about the runes, is like they're very interchangeable. And then Sacred Shield, we're just going to go with that. I think it's too good to pass up. And since you're not using Sheath of Light and you're using Infusion of Light, that makes Sacred Shield like kind of like you kind of have to run it. It's just really good. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the Holy Paladin PvP. I'm not even gonna go over the runes for PvE. They probably don't change that much here because I'm not really that much of a experienced Holy Paladin, to be honest. But yeah, that's pretty much a rough like Holy Paladin build. That's what I would start with and then just work around it. I think it would be pretty good. That's Holy Paladin. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. It'll really help me out. Comment down below and tell me what you're most excited about in Phase 2. Personally, I can't wait for the STV PvP event. I also stream most Mondays and Fridays over on Twitch, so check me out over there. Anyways, have a good day and peace.